Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says he is prepared to hold elections within 3 months, so long as the U.S. and other allies can guarantee the security of that vote. In an interview with Politico, President Trump suggested Kyiv is using the ongoing war with Russia to avoid holding elections. They've been suspended since Zelenskyy declared martial law at the beginning of Russia's invasion back in 2022. The Trump administration is pushing Kyiv and Moscow to sign on to a deal to end the war. Zelenskyy said he would not give up any territory to Russia. Ambassador John Herbst is here. He served as U.S. ambassador to Ukraine under the George W. Bush administration. He's also the senior director of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center. Mr. Ambassador, welcome. Thank you for joining us. How can we find a way out of what appear to be the major sticking points? Russia wants to keep the land that it has invaded, and Kyiv says that's a non-starter. Where's the compromise here?
Thank you for having me on. Let me offer you a slightly different understanding of where things are. The issue is not whether Zelenskyy is willing to make compromises on territory. He has demonstrated multiple times his willingness to do that. The compromises on territory that he's willing to make are compromises proposed by President Trump when he was a candidate, after he won the election, and since he's become the president, which is essentially a ceasefire along the current lines held by the two militaries. So he's ready to acknowledge on a de facto basis, not by legal recognition, that Russia's in control of 20% of Ukraine. And he's willing to have a ceasefire on that basis. It's Putin who refuses. The fight right now, the diplomatic fight, is Putin is demanding, and it seems that some members of the Trump administration are with Putin on this, that Ukraine must give over to Russia highly fortified territory in the western Donbass, which the Russian military has been unable to seize despite the big invasion of nearly 4 years' length. That would be suicide for Ukraine and would in fact undermine Trump's own goal of achieving a durable peace. Because if Russia is given that territory as part of a ceasefire, they can break the ceasefire and can move easily westward to take more of Ukraine. That's what the difference is.
Yeah, that's a really important point that you're making there. So then what do you make of this flurry of diplomatic movement over the past week? You had talks in Moscow, talks in Florida, Zelenskyy in Europe. Do you get the sense that we're closer to a security peace deal? Because this also risks pushing the U.S. away from Europe somewhat in the U.S.'s new security posture.
We are farther from a peace deal because the only way you'll get a durable peace, Trump's stated goal, which leaves Ukraine sovereign, independent, and secure, is to make sure Russia is willing to actually compromise. And the 28 points that were sent to Ukraine had a very large Russian fingerprint, or fingerprints, plural. That document called for giving Russia that land in Western Donbass, which is, again, against American strategic interests and fatal for Ukraine. Now, the negotiations in Geneva and in Florida removed those points. And Putin said regarding the plan presented to him by Witkoff and Kushner in Moscow a week plus ago was, oh no, that needs radical change because it does not demand Ukraine handing over territory which Russia has been unable to conquer. And it's good that it doesn't include that.
Well, that is a sobering assessment. As you say, it does not appear they're getting closer to a peace agreement, but we'll continue to watch this closely and call upon you for your expertise. Ambassador John Herbst joining us from Virginia. Thanks for your time.